Welcome, fellow Stardust. Are you ready for a scare? I see you've come back for more. If you're new here, buckle up, and thank you all for joining me today. My name is DeRay, aka Rainbow Fright, lover of all things dark, creepy, and weird. Today's movie review will be on sci-fi mystery Donnie Darko.
They are in great danger.
This month's subscriber request comes from Jocelyn Chandler, who requested this one 8 months ago. He actually gave me 2 options, but because Donnie Darko had been on my watch list for some time now, I went ahead and chose that one. And here is another film that I really wish I had seen when it first came out. After this extended summary, I'll give you my thoughts. So spoilers are ahead. The film stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Mary McDonnell, Holmes Osborne, Patrick Swayze, Jenna Malone, Beth Grant, and Drew Barrymore, whose production company funded the production of the film, which had a budget of $4.5 million. This coming-of-age story follows Donnie Darko, a teenager struggling with mental illness who becomes smitten with the new girl. On October 2nd, 1988, while sleepwalking, Donnie has his first vision of his new friend, Frank, a 6-foot-tall man in a bunny suit, who warns him that the world will end in 28 days on October 30th. That same evening, a plane engine crashes into his bedroom, where he would have been sleeping had he not been sleepwalking. Authorities have no idea where the engine could have come from, since its serial number is that of a plane with both of its engines intact. Writer-director Richard Kelly does an outstanding job of giving us nostalgic 80s vibes that throws us back to a time of teenage angst and exploration. Because you either lived it yourself or witnessed it in so many 80s and 90s movies, you easily recognize and are familiar with various characters and their relationships. There's the quiet new girl who's intrigued by the shy, weird guy, perverted bullies, the hypocritical religious one, the other hypocrite, the cool teacher, the popular kids, loving mother, clueless father, and the one who is the target of all xenophobic, racist, and unprovoked jokes. At this Catholic school, we have a gym teacher, Kitty Farmer, who decides to teach attitude lessons from the writings of Jim Cunningham, a motivational speaker. Kitty is one of those people who takes great pride in following the teachings of her religion, but is the first to judge, wish harm upon, and condemn people. And the man she decides to follow blindly has oversimplified the human existence and gives us only 2 emotions: love and fear. Donnie's parents, his therapist, and the quote-unquote cool teacher seem to be the only adults who are interested in actually providing the tools the kids need in order to properly develop and prosper on this earth. The rest of them are subscribing to a corrupt consumerism way of living that over-sexualizes young people, is discriminatory, praises mediocrity, and protects the wrongdoers, or rather turns a blind eye to their misconduct, the American dream. Donnie challenges his authority figures and doesn't sit idly by when he sees someone doing something wrong. In a sea of vapid existences, he seems to be the only one who has hope in humanity, maintains a bit of innocence, and is a person of the people. These traits make him the perfect living receiver candidate. After a couple of more visits from Frank and being given the book titled The Philosophy of Time Travel written by Roberta Sparrow, also lovingly referred to as Grandma Death, Donnie begins to take more heed to Frank's warning of impending doom, and his interest in time travel intensifies. His meetings with Frank result in him flooding and vandalizing the school and setting Jim's home on fire, which led to the discovery that Jim had inappropriate videos of children, which then led to his arrest. After Donnie begins to draw parallels between his life and what is in the time travel book, and seeing the future wormholes one too many times, he decides he needs more answers. Just hours before his doomed deadline, he rushes over to Roberta Sparrow's home with Gretchen and his 2 friends in the hopes of gaining more clarity. When he arrives at her home, he instead sees the school bullies, who were in the middle of robbing Roberta's home. In the midst of all the chaos, a teenage drunk driver accidentally runs over Gretchen, killing her. The driver is revealed to be Frank, who was wearing the bunny suit. Without hesitation, Donnie shoots Frank in the eye and tells the passenger to run home and to tell his parents that everything will be alright. Donnie takes Gretchen's lifeless body and he drives to his lookout spot and sees the storm brewing. At that moment, everything finally clicks for him, and he knows what he must do in order to bring Gretchen back, as well as make everything alright for everyone else on Earth. As a living receiver, one of his powers includes telekinesis, which allows him to break off the plane engine from the airplane his mother is traveling home in, just as the plane passes through the storm, aka the black hole portal. Doing this causes time to be reversed back to October 2nd, the day the plane engine crashed into Donnie's room. But this time, Donnie makes sure he's in bed in order to save the primary universe and destroy the tangent universe. Now, some of y'all might be asking, what the hell is a tangent universe? And according to the Philosophy of Time Travel's website created by Richard Kelly, it's essentially a parallel universe that is highly unstable and can only sustain itself for a couple of weeks before it collapses in on itself, creating a black hole that would then destroy all existence in the primary universe. In the tangent universe, all kinds of supernatural things can happen, like Donnie's frank visions and his auditory hallucinations. In the film, the tangent universe was created the moment that the plane engine crashed into his room, and everything after that moment happened in the tangent universe. At the end of the film, when Donnie is able to reverse time, we see the plane engine crash into his room again, and at this point we are back in the primary universe. If you want to learn more about the philosophy behind this film, check out the website, which I'll leave the link for down in the description. It would be super easy to talk about all the time travel theories for hours, but I want to get more into my thoughts about the filmmaking. The cinematography is breathtaking, especially the exterior shots. The lighting is moody and brooding, but I could still see everything, and it just really created this atmosphere that was dreamlike, especially with all of the slow motion in the movie. It just really put you in this surreal state of mind, and I just love that. It really just brought me into this other world, which was kind of the point. We were in a completely different universe. Every actor nailed their role, and the music was just so perfect and so haunting, and Richard Kelly actually got pretty lucky with the music because some of the tracks were copyrighted, of course. He wrote the music into the script, which the producers weren't really cool with because it was a low-budget film, so they couldn't afford to purchase the rights for the music, and they didn't have permission from the artist. But after he spent an entire day shooting the Tears to Fears sequence with the song Head Over Heels, the producers came around and then they actually showed that sequence to the band, who then gave them permission to use their track for free. After that, the other band started to come on board and wanted to help out the new filmmaker, and so they let him use their music for free also. However, most of the tracks in the film were original songs written and performed by Michael Andrews. Another person who wanted to help out Richard was Sam Raimi, who allowed him to use distorted footage of Evil Dead in the theater scene for free. Originally, Richard wanted to use Chud, but there was some confusion about who had the rights to Chud, so Sam Raimi stepped in to help him out. And of course, Drew Barrymore played a huge role in getting this film made. Richard kept hearing no from everybody in Hollywood, but when he talked about his project with Drew Barrymore, she was very intrigued by the story and decided to produce it. Now, her character is someone I really do want to root for, but the more I think about her, the more I am annoyed by her. I do appreciate her trying to broaden the minds of young people and trying to expose them to a world they might not have otherwise experienced, but her interaction with Gretchen was just completely inappropriate and an abuse of power in my eyes. Donnie Darko is a beautifully dark film that questions the existence of a higher power. This is something Donnie struggles with in his youth, and he talks about it with his therapist, who explains to him that that he's an agnostic versus an atheist. While Donnie may not believe in a Christian God, he has a hunch that there is something greater than him. The film also sheds light on the American way, which isn't always inclusive, is ignorant, and is oftentimes very oppressive. Donnie Darko earns 4 rainbow skulls out of 5, and thank you, Justin Chandler, for your request. I've only got 4 more subscriber requests to do before I switch over to only doing patron requests. So if you want to submit a movie for me to review, register to become a patron and submit your request. You'll also get a lot of other perks as well, like extra content and access to my Discord server. There is a $2 tier and a $4 tier. Well, thank you again for joining me today, fellow Stardust. I appreciate you being here with me. I'll be back next week with another video on Friday, and on Halloween, which falls on a Monday this year, I'll be premiering a very special video with some very talented creators who will be sharing with you what scares them the most. So, if you haven't already, go ahead and hop on the Rainbow Fright freight train and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. That way you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you liked this video, please hit the like button and share it with a friend. I hope I see you next time. Peace.